Could you tell us how many foreign journalists have been denied entry to Turkey since 2016? And how many foreign journalists have been blacklisted and denied accreditation, and why? And Prime Minister, in Turkey, editors of national newspapers now face life sentences for working against the state. People have been arrested for Facebook posts criticizing the government, and over 4,000 public servants were sacked in an act branded as a witch hunt targeting political opposition. Have you spoken with the Turkish Prime Minister about rolling back these measures, or is the migrant deal with Turkey more important to the EU?
We have spoken on the situation in Turkey. The Turkish Prime Minister gave his analysis of the situation. It's a situation of a country that has just undergone a failed coup. We were very clear from day one on our support towards a democratically elected government, and we're not on our own, but that is the European position. Obviously, the European position and our own position is critical of anything that does in any way impinge freedom of speech, and we have made our position clear. It's not about trading principles. The fact that we might disagree on an issue doesn't mean that we don't agree and we don't work on other issues. It's about, I think, engaging more rather than issuing condemnations. It's about understanding our situation even better. But it's obvious the European position and the Maltese position is totally in favor of freedom of speech and totally in favor of non-punitive measures. We all know that freedom of speech and journalism is not the best vectors for politicians in government, but we believe that the best way to engage is continuing to strengthen that freedom of speech.
Well, I'm curious, how many refugees are there in Europe? We have been hosting in Turkey for the last 5 years 3 million refugees, providing them with food and education, catering to all sorts of needs. And what about the others? They just appreciate our efforts, but they don't do anything else. Turkey has always been a helping country to the ones in need. And Turkey is also a country that is fighting against the Daesh terrorist organization, the PKK separatist organization, as well as the Fethullah terrorist organization. So, my question is, in what European country planes have been bombarding the parliament or tanks have killed innocent civilians? Freedom of press, freedom of speech are universal rights, and there is rule of law in Turkey, and these rights can be implemented to their fullest extent. But we have to distinguish between two aspects. On one hand, freedom of speech or freedom of media, and on the other hand, abuse of this freedom of media in order to engage in terrorist activities. We are fighting against the second type of abuse in our country. We are fighting against those who claim to be journalists to provide logistical support to terrorists, or who use their press cards in order to help terrorists. We need to distinguish between those persons and real journalists. So facts are being misrepresented as if Turkey was threatening those rights, those universal rights. So here is my official call to the EU officials. If the freedom of press and rule of law are so important to the European Union, then let us open the negotiations on chapters 23 and 24 on justice and freedom of media, so that we can respond to anything the European Union has to say. Here is my real and actual call for the opening of these chapters under the Maltese term presidency. Let us respond to what they have to say.